up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, 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 don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up.
In the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
Thank you, Antonio. Boom. And welcome to the Project Freedom Podcast, episode number 20. The big 20, guys. Already at 2 different iterations of 10 in episodes for you guys who like math out there. Guys, I'm going to try something different today. I got the, it's really not that different. I got the Bitcoin neon light turned off. And what I was telling you guys when I was muted was that the glow from behind the camera has basically been like making everything look blurry. And I tried putting 2 separate lights in front of me, and it's not enough to counteract the effect. So if anyone knows like a solution to that, let me know, because that light back there is kind of bright. You know what? I guys, I don't know if I am right or wrong. If someone knows that this is correct, let me know. Send me a DM, or I don't know, say something in the chat. But I'm pretty sure you can get like a splitter for a USB. where you can like adjust like with a knob and like adjust the amount of wattage it goes to. And I think it can like brighten or dampen a light. Not sure if that's actually a thing, and if it is, if it's like safe to use on that thing. But hey, as long as it doesn't blow or turn my apartment into a fire, that'd be cool. But yeah, guys, episode number 20. The title of this episode is "Can Man Live Off of Bread Alone?" Well, actually, the literal title was, let's see, it's "Man Cannot Live Off of Bread Alone." It wasn't a question; it was a statement. All right. There is a very, very old book called the Bible. I'm sure most of you guys know about that, right? And there was a guy named Matthew who wrote a lot of stuff in this Bible. He's pretty famous. You guys might know this guy, right? There's a quote that I'd like to read, and it says, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." Matthew chapter 4, verse number 4. So what does that mean, guys? And I guess, you can interpret it in several different ways, unless you wanted to interpret it in the literal Christianity, and the literal means of Christianity. I mean, it means something different, but it can be alluded to, and it can be taken in consideration in kind of being like a parallel to some other things that are going on today, right? That's what I'm going to try to make tonight. That's the point I'm going to try to make tonight. All right. And by the way, the Bible is pretty based. Like there's some pretty base like principles in there that have kind of been like long forgotten. Right. Right. At least maybe they haven't been forgotten, but yeah, people don't really know this stuff anymore. Right. Most people I know that that didn't go to church when they were growing up, or didn't go like a Christian school or something like that. They're like, you couldn't even tell them anything about, or they couldn't even tell you anything about like any of that stuff. Like they don't really know the Bible. They haven't really even read the Bible. And I'm not, guys, if you're not Christian, and I'm not saying that, I'm not saying anything about what religion you are. All right. Because we could we could take any other religious book and try to get something out of it as well. All right. But I mean, regardless, pretty much any kind of like religious textbook, like authoritative textbook, no one knows about it anymore, right? Like no one could you couldn't tell someone, or someone couldn't tell you a couple verses out of this book or any of these books, right? Maybe besides like the few super, super famous ones, yada, right? But what do you guys think that means by man cannot live off of bread alone? I think when Matthew was writing this, I think he was kind of talking about back in the day, I don't really know the monetary policy back in the day, but I mean, there was like barterers and people were skilled at something. There was tradesmen, right? I believe that, in Rome they had gold, right? But I don't think that was like a common thing that like the everyday person had. And so bread was pretty important. People needed bread to eat. And what actually happened in ancient Rome, and there's actually a lot of parallels at this time period than there is like in the current time period in the United States. But the people started getting so fed up, and this actually happened because of partially a result of them basically devaluing their currency. People in the masses, the crowds, the normal people of that time, one could say, the normies of that time, they would revolt, and they would get upset about stuff, and they would basically like beg the government to give them money. And the money, the government, I mean, didn't literally give them money, right? They would just like literally toss out bread into the streets to people. So it's probably not the exact same time period, right? This time was actually like after Jesus Christ's death, I believe. But regardless, food was important back then, right? Some people would prefer to have bread than I guess their actual currency that they had, because if you can't eat, which is a basic human necessity, right? It's like the food, clothing, and shelter. It's like the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy, right? If you can't eat or get fed or drink or have like shelter, and honestly, like, man, the clothing part of it, I'm kind of like, I've always thought about like that. Like, what about when we were like, cavemen? Do we really need clothes? But anyway, that's irrelevant. Some people would prefer that, right? And so the government was basically handing out, bread to people in the streets. They were like, here, guys, take it and shut up. And, they would throw the bread out in the streets, and then people would be like, oh, thank you so much. Wow. Thanks for the free bread. What else did they do? I mean, they had basically like circuses and carnivals. They had the gladiators, right? This was like public events that people would go to. And it was all kind of just like it's all kind of like a giant distraction from the real problems that was going on in Rome. Now, eventually what would happen to Rome, and I don't know I wish Aurelian was in here because he fancies himself a historical buff, but eventually Rome got like so big and their reign stretched out so far over the world, literally the world, that they couldn't even control their army anymore. They were in essence, one could say that they were in essence a little bit too centralized, and that centralization might have been part of their downcoming, right? So that's what that meant back then. But I think that we can kind of like see some parallels in the modern time, and we can kind of like use this exact same quote from the Bible to talk about things that are going on now. Okay. So man cannot live off of bread alone. And in this instance, like we just said, again, to reiterate, the government was out there, throwing bread in the streets for the people. Hey guys, enjoy. And what is our government doing today that is kind of similar to that? They're out there giving everybody USD airdrops, wishing everybody enjoy. Take the confetti money, take the monopoly money, all right? And what happens when, these people, everyone gets their stimulus check and stuff's getting pumped around. People are getting like, an excess of money which they didn't have before without having to work, or maybe not to work as much. People are getting credits here, credits there. Credits here, credits there, credits everywhere. USD drops here, USD drops there, USD drops everywhere. And what people like don't really realize is like this itself isn't sufficient enough to not only fix the problem, because it's not what's actually going on now. It's not fixing the problem. It's actually making the problem worse. But let's just say that they were actually throwing bread, or let's just say that they were literally throwing just like, I don't know, confetti fun cake frosting, and everyone was getting USD frosting, or not just United States frosting airdrops into their wallets, right? Everyone opened up their wallet. Free frosting. We're all so happy. We get free candy, all right? So maybe that wouldn't be causing to more of an economical problem directly, or problem in general, but something that I talked about last night and 2 nights ago as well, and something that I talked about, something that the people in Developer Direction, we had a webinar, I think it was like Sunday ago. We were talking about like afterwards about like basically just having having to focus on money so much because of the way that society is set up. It's not. There's nothing wrong. Let me preface this real quick, so I don't get anybody confused. All right, let me preface this. All right, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have nice things. All right, if you want a Cybertruck from Tesla, and that's a goal to have, that's actually, first of all, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty awesome. Second of all, there's nothing wrong with like going out and getting that. Right? There's nothing inherently wrong with material possessions. All right, there's nothing wrong with going to buy a nice suit if you need one, right? Or a Rolex or whatever. But are people actually going to be happy? If people are just getting free things and they're accomplishing nothing in life, right? Are people actually going to be happy? Some people might. Some people might. But do us as humans actually progress in society when we're just basically kind of like sedated? Literally sedated. Like we have like basically like the drug companies kind of like, pump out massive amounts of drugs to people for free. And so we're all just sedated and we're all just, hanging out there. And some people are not very happy inside, and they don't realize that the reason why they're not happy isn't because that they're stuck in the Sahara Desert with no food and water and running away from a lion, trying not to get eaten, right? So like they have all their base needs met. In fact, they have an excess of it because we live in a post-scarcity society, right? And we live in a post-scarcity age. So just because they have their basic needs met, they're still not happy. And I would like to talk about that tonight, but let me first check in with the chat. Cody Moose in the Hoos says, nice US dollar thumbnail. Thank you, Cody Moose. I appreciate it. Oso Chain, what's up, my friend? Daily dose of the orange pill, licky tongue emoji, Babe Honker reporting in. Sam Perchinsky says, Sam staying yes sticker. Kyle W. It's not even live, and I liked it. Thank you, Kyle. Sam Perchinsky says, Pablo saying, I'm literally infinite right now. Max, click here. Yes, everybody click that link. Tom Graff says, time for church. Wade Emery, good times. Max, grabbing Red Bull and protein bars. For you trying to make fun of me there, Max. It's very mean. Don't hurt my feelings, man. This is the jokes intro. Love it. Hey, by the way, guys, that Pump It Up intro, Indoor, the artist of that song, they don't care about people using that song. And also the video, the people who created that video also do not care. So as long as it's like, as long as the algorithm posted on my channel down in the description, it's all good. I mean, they can demonetize it, but I mean, I don't really care about the 15 cents I'll be missing off of that. Babe Honker says, I'm dying of laughter. I hope so. Blockchain Mac in the house says, man's got to eat. What's up, man? Good to see you. Antonio, I do remember that you're here because you were the one who told me that I was muted in the beginning. So thank you. McAfee troll level 1000. Yes, indeed. Get an LED that pulls less watts. I mean, like, I got this in this thing. I got this in one piece, Antonio, and this was the only one I could find online that didn't look like shit. Like all the other like glow light, boomer coin window signs, they all look like poo. So I don't know. Maybe there is another one. I don't know. Are you saying get to replace the LED light itself? I don't know if I think it's just one giant, like literally tube of lighting. And I don't even know how any of that stuff works, to be quite honest with you. Somebody get an electronical engineer on the line. We need them. Blockchain Max says the Bible has a lot of RP connotations. Yes, indeed it does. Jan Perchinsky says you can't eat money. Yep. Pablo, bread and butter, make sandwich. Yes, it does. Love Matthew McConaughey. Matthew O'Connery. Bible equals practical wisdom. Yeah, I mean that's a good point, Wade. It is a lot of this is pretty practical, right? I mean, I remember sometimes I would read stuff in the Bible, and like people back then, you'd think that they would be dumb, but like they pretty much kind of like thought the same way that we do now. Like they had like the same well, maybe not so much the case, but they were very knowledgeable in things that are important today, and that knowledge can is good to be passed along. Being Christian is rebellious these days. Yep, pretty much is. Pretty much anything that isn't like worshiping, like literally worshiping like Satan himself is considered to be rebellious. And actually, like being a satanic worshiper or whatever it's probably more publicly acceptable than being a Christian. I would probably say so. He needs more protein and fats, not just carbs. I don't know who you guys are talking about. Is it me? Do I need more protein, guys? Give it to me. Only vegans say bread is protein. Bread has protein. Yeah, it's got like 2 grams of it. Oh, Tom, I think you're talking about the masses of the crowds. Yes, indeed. Give a man a fish he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish. He'll need to ask for permission from the government to do so. Yeah, he's got to get a fishing license. Blockchain Mac, do you guys have fishing licenses up in Canada? Let me know. I don't know if you guys do or not. If you do, I wouldn't be surprised. We have them here. Most certainly have them here everywhere. Love fish hunting. Yeah, I love me some fish hunting too. Pablo, we should go fishing this weekend, actually. Let's do it. I haven't been fishing in like 3 years. Stimmy checks. Yep. USD airdrops. USDC airdrops. No. Yes. USD. Yes, indeed. Same thing happened to Alexander the Great's empire. Couldn't hold it all together. Yeah. Yep. Whoa. Lindsay, somebody kick him out. Whoever that is. I just put that on. Wow. What is going on here, guys? What is going on in the chat? You guys see any of that stuff? Who's Lindsay? Chief Poo Water. Oh my God. Is this? What the fuck is this? Can some of the mods do something? Somebody hand Pablo a wrench too. He needs it. Kick these people out of here. What the hell is that? Heat lift Prophylactics. Short snatch persuade? Question mark. Lots of S-bums out there. Yes, indeed. Mike says they are unhappy because they still own stuff. Wow. Let's all clap for him real quick. Yeah, guys. Which one of you guys are mods in here? I don't know who all these people are. I'm trying to block these people, and it's like there is an error. So maybe we're getting hacked by the Opera users. What in the hell? Like, I don't even know what the hell is going on. Jesus Christ, that is a lot. Oh my God. Is there more of them coming in there? Yeah, somebody wrench Pablo. I can't do it from StreamYard. Pablo, don't make me open up a YouTube portal. Everybody, distribute the wrenches. Let's get rid of them. But yes, Mike is indeed correct. Mike, I hope I didn't accidentally kick you out when I was trying to do that. Richard Stallman, Chief Pooh Water, Debian. What a colorful crowd of people. Do we have any brothers in the chat? Who the hell? Sam Perchichi says, attention, if you type obscenities in the chat, you have a tiny member. Probably. Antonio says, black pillars. Blockchain Max says, yeah, we do have fishing licenses. I get audited by the provincial, did I pronounce that correctly, police or the Ministry of Natural Resources all the time. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing about here, Andy, is like, if you need a fishing license, like, in reality, you're supposed to have a fishing license, kind of like, period, but there's a limit for, like, if you're actually catching fish to eat, there's a limit, right? And they usually don't come up to you and like say, hey, give me your fishing license. If you come in from a boat with like an ice chest full of fish, the first thing they ask, they want to see the amount of fish that you have, right? And then in doing that, they're like, yo, give us a fishing license. So it's like, if it's like extra worse if you bring too much fish home and you don't have the license too. But in all honesty, and this is, I'm not telling anybody to break the LAW, but like, if you're just gonna catch and release, like, you don't really need a license to just like catch and release it. You know, as long as you're not like, as long as you're not like banging their heads open and just like throwing their guts in the floor, you throw them back in alive, which is what you should do. It's usually okay. Opera users in the chat, wrench me, I can help back. I don't know if he did. Mods can't give mod. Somebody gave somebody else a mod the other day. I'll have to go back on the replay and do it. Antonio says the deadline Elizabeth Warren gave Gensler and the SEC is today for crypto regulation. Jesus Christ. What do you guys think will happen? I mean, the deadline is today. Then like they're going to rush into a decision that doesn't make sense. Look, and that's where we're going to get to next. Sorry guys, I lost my tempo there with the like amount of craziness in the chat. Like, holy crap, what the hell was that all about? Who do you guys think these people are? What the hell was that all about? Where did this come from? Who was that? Somebody. Elizabeth Warren will seethe. Elizabeth Warren will seethe. Yeah. All right. So let's. All right, guys. Hold on. Let me take a break real quick. Guys. I feel like something's missing for this talk that we're about to have. Right? Something's missing. You guys have any idea what this is? Let me take a guess what this is. Cody says it's Peter Schiff. It probably was Peter Schiff. Good old Shifty Schiff in here, shifting around again. All right, guys, listen, I got something for you guys for this talk, all right? Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. No, it's not bubblegum. It's not bubblegum, Andy. All right, everyone. It is time. It is time. Probably, Sam. Look, that's why I got the hat on, okay? If we just put the hat on, they won't come back into the chat. And then they can't hear what we're talking about. It's extra simple, okay? Shh. Guys, you got to be quiet now, okay? All right. Pablo Busco says, oh no. Cookie Moose. You guys know what this is, right? All right, we're about to get serious, all right? Actually, I probably have to redo this, guys. It's not fitting properly. Hold on. You guys can just give me 1 second here. Let's redo that. I don't think I accurately estimated the proper length of tinfoil to put around my big ass head. So hold on 1 second, guys. You guys think this is enough? Probably put it on the dull side so the light doesn't intervene with it, interfere. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I can do like this. All right. All right. Wow. I feel like a Spartan, guys. Excuse me. That was a burp. That was impolite. I must apologize, guys. Okay. Back to the talk before these creep-ass motherfuckers got in here. All right, so since we were just talking about the USD airdrops, it's like you don't want to have to keep harping on the same people every single day, because I really don't. But they make it too fucking easy because they continue to do stupid shit over and over and over again. And who am I talking about in particular? Who thinks that she has the problem of this man shall not live off of bread alone solution here? Who do you guys think I'm talking about? Of course, she's definitely a she. It's a she. Well, we wouldn't want to like improperly misidentify her, but all right, guys, I would like to share something with you guys. Take a peek here at my screen in approximately 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds. All right, guys. So Elizabeth Warren did the same shit again that she did before. She keeps making. First of all, she's freaking the fuck out about cryptocurrency, right? And you guys that are my regular viewers, you guys already know the reasons why, right? It's pretty freaking obvious, okay? It's pretty obvious, okay? We talked about it last stream, probably 2 streams before that, okay? But it's like they're trying so. To me, it's obvious that they don't know anything what they're talking about, all right? So let's talk about this yesterday in particular, all right? So you guys can see at the bottom left of the screen. This video was posted yesterday. Okay, so this isn't like some old stuff, right? This is indeed new, and it's when you guys watch this, we're gonna break down for a second. All right, it's really not a lot. It's 5 minutes 46 seconds. It's apparent that this lady and these people really don't know what they're talking about, and then you would ask yourself, if they don't know what they're talking about, why would they just come out and just say stuff like this? Because it's almost as if they didn't spend any time to learn and understand this stuff. It's almost like they have some sort of like, maybe we can call it an agenda to just spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the orange pill. All right. And Elizabeth Warren has definitely never tried. She's never tried the orange pill. It's apparent in everything that she's done, and it's going to be apparent when we go ahead and listen to this. But let's just do that real quick, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If it wants to load, 1 second.
So the cryptocurrency boosters argue that crypto is the yellow brick road to a faster, cheaper, and safer financial system that works for everyone, not just for the biggest banks. There is no question that our financial system needs change, big structural change. And we should be willing to consider how these new technologies can help consumers and our economy. But as the cryptocurrency market grows, it is also our responsibility to carefully examine these claims and promises about crypto's potential. Now, one of the advantages crypto advocates claim about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is that they're, quote, decentralized. Our current system is dominated by a handful of big banks that are mostly free to jack up costs for consumers, to restrict access to financial products,
Yeah, no shit.
and gobble up smaller competitors until the big guys become too big to fail. By contrast, advocates claim that cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology that underlies them decentralize power and control, creating the possibility of a more democratic financial system. So, Professor Walsh, that sounds pretty good to me. Has your research shown that crypto is decentralized in this way?
So it's true that in cryptocurrencies, you don't have one single central party. So I guess technically you could say, yes, it's decentralized. It's more than one.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm going to pause there. All right. So, off the bat, this lady, this professor, whatever, Angela Reckner, who looks like she's just some kind of like professor from some like lowly professor from a computer science department at like some, I don't know, community college or something, right? Probably never wrote a lick of code in her real life. Probably never actually made an application or a script or anything from start to finish 100% on her own. Probably never like, you know, had to problem solve or troubleshoot her way out of a bad situation. And probably couldn't problem solve or troubleshoot her way out of a wet paper bag. Okay. Now, you know, I'm just being facetious, and, you know, this lady, by all intents and purposes, could be a very brilliant lady. But so you guys just saw Liz Warren was just basically asking this lady, so cryptocurrency claims to be decentralized, but are your studies showing us that they're decentralized? And then the lady goes and answers her, yeah, they kind of are, right? And you can just tell that she knows that that's not the answer that Liz Warren wants to hear, right? So she's going to go, and they're about to try to make a couple arguments into how it's not decentralized. And again, guys, we all know not all of them are completely decentralized, right? We all know which one is completely decentralized, though, right? I think you guys all know that, right? Irregardless, these things a lot of the times don't start out as completely decentralized, right? I mean, it's just how nothing can ever start decentralized. Okay, like code doesn't just get materialized on its own. Even if it started with 50 different people collaborating together on said code from all different parts of the world, you can consider that to be a group of developers, and therefore there was a central point of developers, right? Now, after time occurs, and you know, these things move and spread throughout the ecosystem, they end up becoming more and more decentralized, which was initially the design structure and the architecture for these softwares, for these networks, are for them to be decentralized. So again, you guys know that, right? And this lady is about to try to tell Elizabeth Warren something that Elizabeth Warren wants to hear, but we all know isn't really the case, right? Let's see what they have to say.
But we have to remember that there are absolutely pockets of power within these systems, particularly the core software developers and the large miners who can absolutely exploit their position of power to affect users of the systems.
So they have the capacity here to manipulate the system. You know, that sounds to me like a lousy trade-off. Instead of leaving our financial system at the whims of giant banks, crypto puts the system at the whims of some shadowy, faceless group of super coders and...
Oh, God. I've had enough. All right, there it is. There it is, guys. Super coders. My God, super coders. Super coders. Oh, guys, I want you to think very carefully. I want you to put two things together, okay? What does the term super coders sound like to you in recent times? What does it sound like to you? What else has the news used with the word super in it to make things sound a little bit like, worse than they really are? Don't type it in the chat, guys. Don't type it in the chat. I know you guys know the answer. Don't type it in the chat, all right? Because we're probably gonna get this hat right here is not enough alone to help you guys in the chat, all right? But think about it, guys. What are these? Sometimes recently, and well, actually, we'll tie two things together. So they had in Miami in May, the end of May, they had the Bitcoin conference for 2021, and when people left, some people caught a virus. People call this virus the coof. Some people call this virus the crab 19. All right. And essentially the label that they threw on the people or the event itself was that it was a super spread something, right? So we already know that this type of language is used to make things seem bad, okay? Orange, bad, okay? Orange, bad, right? But let's not focus so much on the language because they want to use the term like supercoders, which what the fuck is a supercoder, guys? Somebody tell me. I've never heard of that before. Are any of you guys out there certified supercoders? Shadowy supercoders? But let's take a step back and let's talk about let's break this argument down from a technological standpoint, okay? So Liz Warren asks this lady, this professor, if her studies could indicate that cryptocurrency is decentralized. Then this professor says, yes, they are decentralized. And you can tell the tone of her voice. She's like, yeah, they're decentralized, but she had to end it with having to give some sort of reason as to why they're not really decentralized. Okay. And what she says is that these systems are heavily manipulated by the developers, the software engineers, people who write the code. Okay. Now I'm confused. Do you guys think that Liz Warren has spent any time studying, I don't know, let's just talk about the number one because it's the easiest. Do you guys think Liz Warren has spent any time studying Bitcoin? I don't think so. I don't think she spent more than like maybe 10 seconds reading flashy buzz news articles in the news that just basically titled breaking news, orange coin bad, right? Unless she does, right? So she either hasn't spent any time at all, and we're going to get there, guys. I'm going to explain why she's very, very wrong. Although most of you guys probably already know this, right? She's either spent zero time studying this stuff, or she knows it and she just is lying to people for a reason. So I don't know what you guys think, but if she is lying to people for a reason, certainly Mrs. Warren can't be that unintelligent because she indeed has a law degree. So certainly Mrs. Warren can't be that unintelligent to not even, learn about something before she goes on the news and bashes it and tries to force regulations on it. So certainly she might know something about it, right? So maybe if she is lying for a reason, I wonder what do you guys think that reason is? But okay, allow me to calm myself from the anger that I have, and let me take a step backwards. Okay, let's take a step backwards and try to explain to you guys why that's wrong. Again, so question, are cryptocurrencies really decentralized in your studies? Mrs. Professor over there. Professor says, yes, they are decentralized, but they're not at the same time because these systems are heavily manipulated by the powerful supercoders and miners. Okay. Is there anything that miners or supercoders are able to do that normal people can't do? Off the top of y'all's heads, let me know if I'm wrong on that. I happen to be missing something here. But newsflash, there isn't. Okay. Now, one could argue that miners have the ability to, and this is the only thing I can think of, that miners have the ability to sell off large numbers of coins that are mined onto the market. if they choose to want to manipulate the market. Sure, they could do that. But so can anyone else, literally anyone else, okay? Anyone else who has the ability to accumulate that amount of Bitcoin, okay? And why are they rewarded this Bitcoin isn't just because that they're using mining rigs, okay? They're literally paying in electricity. This is called proof of work, okay? They're paying with electricity, large amounts of electricity, by the way, guys, large amounts of electricity, and not enough to destroy the planet. Okay, it's actually substantially lower than the amount of electricity that. Let's just instead of just talking about the whole Bitcoin network, or we'll use the whole Bitcoin network to scale. Okay, instead of talking about the whole traditional financial network, Bitcoin itself uses a fraction of the electricity that just ATMs use. Okay, Google it, fact check it. Jamie, send me the facts. All right, just kidding, Pablo. You don't have to do that. But also at the same time, I mean, I don't want to sit here and make this episode about like the environmental FUD. All right, this nonsense of BS, because we already know that Bitcoin mining, majority of these mining rigs are being used with renewable resources. And they're also actually helping the environments in some places. They're helping regulate power grids, yada, yada, yada. Orange coin good, I know, right? But the reason is that they are taking a risk to do something, to validate a lot of transactions and use a lot of processing power, all right? If you want to have the same thing, you can go and do that yourself. Or you can just run a node on your computer without having to do any of that stuff, okay? So you can validate transactions. You just won't get rewarded coins for it, right? Because you're not going to be able to do as much input or output. Okay. But the thing is, so they don't do, miners can't just say, I'm going to manipulate the code and send everyone's Bitcoin to my address, or I'm going to manipulate the code and change the price of it. It doesn't fucking work like that. Right. At the same time, these developers, these super coders, the shadowy super coders. Okay. Does she not know that all this stuff, all this code is deployed open source for everyone to see on an open network that anyone can try to contribute to? Oh, she doesn't know that? Okay, I don't think that she knew that, right? So I guess she doesn't know that if people have a problem with the code and they can literally just go and look at it and they can say, I don't want to use this. I want to go use a different protocol because I don't like this code. I want to go use a different protocol, all right? That's called being transparent. Transparent, not something that a central bank digital currency would do. We most certainly know that, guys. It's not something that the software, the current central banks, is their software open source and transparent? No, it's not. Right? I'd be willing to bet that there may or may not be some malicious things inside of that software. And regardless, at the same time, anyone can contribute to the software as well. Also, there's this thing. It's kind of important in cryptocurrency. It's kind of a big deal. It's kind of one of the things that makes it what it is, called consensus. All right. So I think most of you guys know what consensus is, right? You know how this works. If they want to push new code to production or to a test network or whatever, there have to come to a consensus, which just means an agreement, guys, a majority agreement of whether or not they're going to do it or not, okay? And you don't have to be a miner to give consensus. You can just be running a node to give consensus. Literally anybody who participates in this network has the ability to vote, and 51 or more majority is allowed to have the vote be declared the winner. Do you think that the current central banking system, I probably shouldn't even say those three words together because, yeah. But do you think that the current CB system has a consensus with anybody who wants to participate in that vote? Last time I checked, I've never been asked to vote for anything, any kind of like software change that the current CB system has implemented. So least we not forget the part that these are all decentralized, and therefore just widens that argument gap even further. But I digress. Point is, I don't think Liz Warren spent any time learning any of this stuff, right? Have you guys ever heard Michael Saylor talk? The dude's a fucking genius. He's kind of boring to listen to talk sometimes, but one thing that he's always said for the last 12 months, anytime he's had an interview, probably about the last 10 months, right? People ask him, and because Michael Saylor went from some guy who hated Boomer Coin, right? He used to tweet about it. You go back and look at his Twitter. Go back and look at his Twitter. It's still there. He's not ashamed of it. He was awakened by Satoshi. He indeed took one of these. Okay, he's been taking these daily. All right, he's been taking these daily, and he's changed. He's changed his mindset. And one thing he said when people asked him, so how did you change from going to hating Bitcoin and saying that's a scam or a Ponzi scheme to literally unloading your company's entire balance sheet into Bitcoin and being one of the second largest publicly owned company to own Bitcoin, the second largest Bitcoin storage from a public company? And he said, I spent 10 hours studying Bitcoin. And then he actually went out. And if you guys go to hope.com, this isn't a plug or shill for Michael Saylor, but if you guys go to hope.com, you can literally study 10 hours of Bitcoin for free. And he advises that anybody that ever wants to get into it should spend the 10 hours to study this kind of stuff. And it's apparent that this lady has spent zero hours studying this stuff. Okay. So we just basically proved her wrong. Well, we didn't show you guys proof, but if you want to go and if you don't believe me, just, I don't know, go to let's not even talk about Bitcoin because that's just too easy. Let's talk about Ethereum. You guys want to see certain protocols code for the code that they do? Plug the contract address into Etherscan and pull it up and look at their code. You can see that you can actually see the code. Okay, this isn't a joke. It's not a lie. All right, let's continue. Let's continue, guys. Let's get this over with. All right.
And miners, which doesn't sound better to me. So let me ask about another claimed benefit of crypto, which is that it's safer and more secure than traditional government-issued money in the bank. Because the blockchain system is supposed to be difficult to hack, possible to manipulate, and less prone to network failure, we might not need to worry about things like data breaches or a cyber attack that takes down the network. Professor Walsh, are cryptocurrencies as safe and secure as the proponents claim?
So they certainly have characteristics that enable them to be, resistant to hacking, but it's a misnomer to say that anything is absolutely secure.
God, this lady wants to be like, yeah, they're not that bad. All right, this lady wants to tell the truth so bad, but she can't. All right. That's enough of that. That's enough of that preposterous nonsense, guys. I'm sorry for putting you guys through that. Very, very sorry. Forgot to click the button to minimize my screen. Hold on, guys. Let me fix that so I don't put my we don't put the inception into the screen inception out there. Okay. So let's get rid of this now. All right, because those people that were in the chat over here, they're gone now. All right. I'm free, guys. Okay. So this lady doesn't know what she's talking about, right? Orange coin bad, orange coin bad, orange coin bad. Right? I've had enough of it. It's funny and it's fine because it always gives me something to talk about. But do they propose any sort of solution to this? Where's your solution, Liz? Because the current solution that we have right now is way less secure than any of these what's the shittiest blockchain out there? Dogecoin probably has 4 full nodes running. All right, and that's probably more secure than their protocol is probably more secure than just I don't know, any of the software, any of these any of the CBs. Okay, but part of the things that give these things value is because of how they work. Okay, and part of the things that remove value from the CB system is that they work very poorly, right? But let's talk about let's get back to that man cannot live off of bread alone topic. Okay. And actually, I'll get caught up with the chat real quick. Let's do that because you guys were cat's mooning over here. Sorry, guys. Let's go. Mike says, these boomers running the state are totally ignorant and incompetent. Nothing will come from Chief Warren's smoke signal FUD. That was good. That was good. Cody Moose says, nobody loves talking more than people who have no effing idea what they're talking about. Yep. Phil says, nice hat. Thank you very much, Phil. It's been a long time having to craft the hat on the air for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Why is a whammon representing the Boomer Coin Empire? Good point. I don't think that this whammon knows anything about it. Kind of centric fun. Wow, this lady sucks. Yeah, Anna V says, always wanted to be a shadowy supercoder. Supercoders, guys. How do you get to supercoder status? I really don't know, dude. I guess, like, I don't know. Write a smart contract, then you're a shadowy supercoder. Super cheddars. Can I surpass that and go straight to gigacoder? I think so, dude. I think that might, Cody, that might be the next level after supercoder is gigacoders. Super betters, super breeders, spreaders, these things that rhyme with the thing that I was talking about. Yes, sir. Simple. Just get accused of being one. Antonio, LOL. Ask Cody if he's a gigacoder. If I have a shadow and I make Flappy Bird, are you a supercoder? I'd say so, probably so. Crab19 in the chat. Yep. Liz Warren is a Bitcoin Cash maxi. I bet she holds XRP, maybe. Klaus Schwab does. I think they can code superly. Justin Schaefer, Ashley Schaefer, BMW in the house says, I will be a supercoder. Indeed. Super, SOOPER. 1, miners. 2, supercoders. 3, Elon tweets. Yeah. Native American tribes were also highly decentralized. Well, we all know that 0.4% of Liz Warren's DNA is no longer cares anything about those people, right? In the year 2023, one Big Mac will be worth one supercoder, says Pablo. Probably so. I sold all my supercoders for ETH. Probably good idea. All tinfoil hat. All hail our tinfoil hat Pope. Thank you, guys. Indeed, the tinfoil hat Pope. It'll come back, guys. It'll come back. Look, I got a whole roll for you. It's a thick roll too, guys. This is a thickin' one right here. All right, thick roll. Okay. William Patterson says your tinfoil Pope hat reminds me of SNL King Tut with Steve Martin. LOL, love it. Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. I'd probably bet Rune is the worst. Yeah. Super smash coders. Yeah, I mean, the thing about that, okay, so like look at the Rune protocol. First of all, I don't know who it was. Someone in Charlie and Miguel's Cultivate or Crypto Mindset chat was like saying I had proposed that one of the biggest problems that we don't really have a bridge chain protocol per se that's complete and finished up and running. And there was Runethor, right? Someone was like, yeah, just use that. I'm like, dude, like they pushed that shit out in like 6 months. As a developer, I just knew that was just like a bad idea, right? Like, guys, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I haven't written probably a single piece of software that didn't have bugs in it, right? Just doesn't happen. I'm talking about real pieces of software, right? Not like, system out.println hello world, all right? And then even that, if you're doing it on like a text editor that doesn't have IntelliSense and isn't going to do half the work for you, you're probably going to make an error and be like, oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot that period right there, all right? So like pushing out code that's going to be has the ability to deal with billions of people's dollars without in 6 months rushing it is not the smartest idea, right? And it was also like, look, they had like $3 million worth of liquidity on it. Like it was sus or volume. That was sus, dude. I mean, you want to go test it out? Go ahead. And then like a week later, they got hacked and they got hacked twice. But the reason they were hacked is because people could see their code. Their code was deployed on the blockchain. People could see their code. And someone was able to read their code and be like, yo, dude, you did this very wrong. And we're going to teach you guys a lesson. Apparently the hacker, I mean, I should have pulled that up. I should have had that pulled up, but apparently the hacker, actually, Pablo, if you could, dudes, look up Thorchain hacker, Runethorn hacker, based hacker. I don't know what would be the query string for that. Runethorn hacker mocks developers. And we can pull it up. That'd be funny. But yeah, they basically like the guy. They had the ability to do it to do even more damage, and they didn't. They were trying to apparently teach them a lesson, which I mean, some of the people weren't happy about that, right? Irregardless, Jamie Google hacker. Yeah, but is Liz Warren? Is she? And by the way, this is a lady who apparently is extremely progressive, right? And cares about monetary effects of the people and people's ability to be the small guy's ability to be pushed out of the economy. You're not that progressive, Liz. Come on, because if you were, you wouldn't be out here touting orange coin bad. All right, thank you, Pablo. So let's check this out, guys. Let's check this out really quick. Because Pablo pulled it up. Thank you, Pablo. All right. Thorchain's Rune token slides 15% following multi-million-dollar exploit. This is funny. Decentralized finance protocol, Rune chain, blah, 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 blah. I want to see if they have the hackers like notes on here because it was like basically Pablo, this is not it. You got to find the one. Look in the ELP chat, Pablo. There is one out there where the guy literally is like it's a message, the transaction data from the hacker himself, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, you guys are retarded. Like, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that." But okay, we'll get back to that in a second. If PD Jamie Pablo can figure it out, which I know he can. You got it, Pablo. Has Mrs. Warren or any of these people that are touting Orange Coin bad, have they done anything to propose a solution to that? No. Why do you think that is, guys? That's because thank you, Pablo. That is because they want people to live off of bread alone. All right? They want everyone to live off of bread alone. They want everybody to live off the fucking confetti money. All right? That's my opinion. All right? It's probably a fact. Right? Money can make you happy, guys, okay? Money can make you happy, but money alone can't make you happy. Usually the people that are happy with money. Now, okay, it's hard to be upset if it's bright and sunny and 75 outside and you have no problems, right? Let's just say you're born you were born in with your entire life, with an absolute perfect family, which by the way doesn't exist. So again, it's not ever going to happen to anybody. You've had no emotional and mental trauma in your entire life. You've never had anything bad happen to you. It's sunny and 75 outside, and you got a brand new Ferrari, and you have zero problems. Then obviously money itself isn't going to make you unhappy, right? But usually the people who are happy with money are the ones that have had to accomplish something along the way to get there. Okay. You know what else too? Fake money is most certainly not going to make you happy at all. Because in the end, maybe it's nice to have whatever $1,500 deposit in your account every week because the USD is just giving you an airdrop and to stay at home, right? And you can spend it on whatever. You can go to the bar, you got have drinks, have fun, buy some clothes every now and then. You can get Uber Eats, do whatever you want. But that, in the end, the bread alone, it's really just going to destroy you. I won't sit around here and, I guess, explain why, because I haven't spent a lot of time explaining that enough. I think you guys don't need me to just sit around and preach all day long about that, okay? But most people don't realize that, right? But that's what they want. They want you, again, inside of their system, okay? They want you inside of their system, taking the free bread so that you can just shut up, peasant, and take the free bread. Don't you complain. If they complain more, let's give them more free bread. And has Liz Warren given a solution? Has any of these people given a solution yet? No. No, they have not, guys. They most certainly have not. So let me pull up this article from Pablo, Jamie Pablo. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you. We need to educate the masses. We must teach them. The hacker still paid slip fees. LOL. All right, guys, check this out. Back to that topic over here. All right, so let's just see. News.bitcoin.com. Thorchain trolled by hackers after 2 successful seven-figure exploits. Which just want you guys to see. Hacker returns to the scene to lecture on security. Another blow against the Thorchain protocol. The DeFi network has found itself the victim of another hack. The equivalent of 4,000 Ethereum was stolen just days earlier. Thorchain, which features an automated market maker, an AMM, and decentralized exchange DEX, is known for its liquidity pooling, with total value locked TVL currently around 101.75 million. I don't know if this TVL is before or after the hack, right? This time, the attack was perpetrated against the ETH router. Okay, so you guys don't know how this protocol works. Take some time to look at it up because what we're saying might not make sense to you. But basically, the ETH router contract to target the Thorchain Bitfrost component, look that up to you guys. You're going to need to know that. Resulting in more than 8 million of losses from the protocol. According to the hacker allegedly behind the move, the vulnerability was known before the latest attack and was entirely preventable, which is right. When using Solidity, Ethereum smart contract coding language used in the protocol, programmers advise developers against using certain coding methods to transfer funds. However, this was allegedly overlooked by the team in charge, leading to an issue within the protocol's native Rune token contract. The hacker basically sent this message here, guys. Hacker says, could have taken ETH, Bitcoin, LYC, BNP, and BEP 20s if I waited. I wanted to teach lesson, minimizing damage, multiple critical issues. 10% VAR bounty would have prevented this. Disable until audits are complete. Audits are not nice to have. Do not rush code that controls 9 figures. Yeah, I mean, this dude's like pretty based, right? Pretty based because like someone actually probably could have came and like waited like a while and let this kind of like sit around and fester and grow. Because people were like into this. I thought this was a great concept, guys. This was a great concept. Was I ever going to use the DEX? No, I wasn't. There's no way I was going to use the DEX yet, right? I was going to let it sit. I was going to let it sit and fester, right? But then the hacker, laid steps, all right? What could have done to fix it? And this is the actual amount that they actually took, which is quite a bit, right? Quite a bit more than 800 grand. I mean, there's more than 800 grand, 800 grand in USDT alone, right? It's almost 1 million in USDT alone, right? And Rune tokens continue to plummet. If you guys look, there's some like comments. I don't know if the comments are still in here. Like people were like, some of the people who were like using it, using the protocol and got their funds taken, wrote some really mean comments to this dude. I thought it was funny, to the hacker at least. But yeah, so okay, thing about that is like, guys, like, yes, stuff like that can happen, okay? But things, first of all, we all know every time things are new and exciting and young and fresh, there's always problems, all right? The reason that they were able to do that was because everything is open source. The hackers could see their code, all right? So they could write code to interact with it, to manipulate it, okay? People have the freedom to choose whether or not they want to use Rune, okay? No one had to use Rune, right? So, whereas if people want to get return on their cash, their dollar bills in the modern system, they have to use a bank. They don't really have any options. And quite frankly, there's very few options for banks in general, right? I mean, you got what? Like Chase, you got, I don't know, Regions. What other big bank is there? It's a few of them, right? Don't even know anymore. Don't even care about them. Literally don't even care about them. He left a nice little memo in the block. Yeah, he did. The hacker still pays slip fees. Yes, indeed, Jamie, you're fired. Check the chat. I got it. Did you send me something to me? I didn't see it. Oh, the group chat. Okay. Replace. Jamie.replace. Insert Kyle. Open quotes. Kyle W. In quote. Warren is the bread and the circus. Yeah. Notice, guys, none of these people are offering any sort of solution, okay? Except for something like this. So why don't we go ahead and check this one out? All right, guys, here's a solution that they want to give to everybody. U.S. Senate advances roughly $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. They're going to print more money. It's a great solution, right? Let's just keep doing the same thing we've been doing. Great solution. Let's dig in, guys. Let's dig in, shall we? Roughly a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure investment bill advances in the U.S. Senate on Wednesday, passing a key milestone that moves the emerging legislation towards formal debate and possible passage. So I'm not even quite sure, like 100%. I believe it was 4.5 trillion originally, right? Oh, look at that. Democrats intend the bill, which includes funding for roads, bridges, broadband, and other physical infrastructure, with the first repair package followed by a sweeping 3.5 trillion. Okay, so 3.5 plus 1 is 4.5. So it is. Okay. Now, okay. Has anyone ever been familiar with, has anyone ever remember any of the times that they passed bills for things like this and none of the things that they said we're going to get fixed got fixed? And if they did, they didn't just start working on those things until like 5 years after, and they're probably still working on them. You guys remember all those times that this stuff happened? Yep, I do. You guys ever been to New Orleans, streets of New Orleans, Louisiana, or Jackson, Mississippi, or literally any city? They're doing the same thing. People have a problem. Everyone is having a problem. So what we're going to do is everyone's having a money problem and a life problem. And, you know, there's massive amounts of suicides. There's massive amounts of homeless now, massive amounts of unemployment, massive amounts of inflation, massive amounts of fear, uncertainty, doubt in people. Everyone that has a solution that's not us, that's not controlled by us, every solution that isn't controlled by us, bad. If it's written in code, bad. Unless it's our code, of course, and you can't see it. That code that you guys can all see, open and free, bad. What is their solution? Or lack of solution? Let's print more money. Woo! More USD airdrops. It's almost as if they want it to happen. It's almost as if they want it to happen. Right? But my roads, have you seen the breakdown? It's not even infrastructure. Yeah, Babe Honker, I haven't actually looked in it. I know better by now than to even trust anything that those people come out with. Like, you know, maybe, so if you're an old boomer and you don't understand some sort of new technology, then it's pretty ignorant for you to talk about it and then not have to studied it. But if you are a young Zoomer and you've already experienced people doing the exact same thing over and over and over again, you can just I'm gonna give you a pass to just assume that it's probably not good. And it looks like from what you're saying, it isn't. And I've heard people say, if you can find the breakdown, just send a link, please do. Yeah, we'll look about that. I've heard people say that there's pretty much like nothing really in there of importance at all that's actually doing anything. It's almost like, let's say that's the case. I'm going to believe that's the case. It's almost like they just want to print money just to print more money, just to keep the system afloat. Sorry, guys, I had to wet my whistle. So our problems, our solutions aren't good, right? Because they're made by super coders, shadowy super coders, whatever the hell that means. But their solutions, which have done the same thing over and over again, which is actually the cause of all these problems, are good, right? And something else too, I actually should, let me see if I can get, where's that link? I can't click that in here. You got to Telegram it to me. But I have another link that I want to show you guys of something else. A very smart man commented on what Liz Warren said today about being progressive. Because again, she loves to say that she's progressive, right? She's people. She cares about the little guy, right? She really, really cares about the little guy. Don't forget, guys. You know that, right? check out what my friend Mike Novogratz has to say over here. You guys don't know who Mike Novogratz is. He's a very smart guy. People make fun of him, but he's a literal billionaire. And usually everyone that makes fun of him is, infinitely more poor than he is. So Mike says banks charge $12 billion in overdraft fees, a fortune in ATM fees, a fortune in checking account fees, but you keep going after crypto when saving and money transfer is a fraction of banks. Good job, Senator Warren. You really don't seem so progressive to me. Lots of people down here agreeing with him, and I'm willing to bet that this lady, her Twitter has been taking a beating from the maximalists. Let's see. I've actually heard that she's changed her tune within the last 24 hours. Suddenly, Elizabeth Warren is open to crypto now. She's suddenly open to it. I'm not sure what on here. Oh, here we go. As the demand for cryptocurrencies grow, I'm urging Senator Yellen and the Financial Stability Oversight Council to address crypto's risk and regulate the market to ensure the safety of consumers and stability for our financial system. See comments? No. Yeah. Well, I'm most certainly not going to sign up for that. Most certainly not going to be signing up for that. All right, guys. Sorry. I don't know if Greg, I don't even bother time. Like you post a link in the chat. If people want to, I can see the graph right here. People want to take the time to go read it. They can. I just think, fuck. I don't want to look at anything that they had proposed, because nothing they've ever proposed the last 100 years has done diddly squat for making anyone's lives better, right? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like, if you guys look at that pie graph, and I don't know how, this is the New York Times, so I guess, everyone that's got to believe the news is right about everything. New York Times news, right? So, we consider that to be correct. So, anyway, guys, point is, all right, instead of sitting here and crying about it all day long, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, guys? Orange coin bad? Nope. We know it's not bad, right? Do you want to be able to live off of the bread of the bread from the USD airdrops alone? No, you don't. Right? So what do? Well, the truth is, guys, you really just have to say fuck it and just take care of yourself. You really do. You have to stop worrying about others. You have to stop trying to convince other people to look at something. Like if you have to go out of your way to spend time, effort, and energy to convince people that the sun is in the sky and that the sky is blue, and they're going to tell you that the sun is in the ocean and that the sky is purple because the news told them so, just stop. You're just wasting your energy. You really are. Focus on yourself. Take care of yourself. Okay. And if you guys remember, we talked about 1 or 2 podcasts ago about the people that were surveyed in the 1970s versus the people that were surveyed in the mid-teens, the 20 teens, right? You want your solution, guys? Do and act in life like those people did, okay? Be concerned about making good relationships with people. Be concerned about being an authority in your field. Be concerned about accomplishing something really good. Be concerned about making changes in the world. Be concerned about providing value to society, more so than just the bread alone. All right, guys. That's all I got. If you're in here, guys, and you're not subscribed, please hit that sub button. Show me some love. I do very much appreciate it. And I hope you guys learned something tonight. I'm out.
Don't pit again.
No, no, no!
And again.
Bonjour, gentlemen.
Lord Bogdanov, Crab 17 was a stunning success.
Ce soit une verdure verte et impressionne, un crabe se vendait une oie sauvette. Mr. Rothschild,
Forgive me, my lord.
continue with the plan. Do not disappoint me. And garnish his riches, Mr. MacDonald.
I'm loving it.
Good. C'est tout.